West Ham United continue talks with Vladimir Coufal's reps over improved contract. Gap in terms, Soufal's camp disappointed with what's being offered. Current deal up in summer 2023 with option for 2 more years. West Ham United recognise the performances deserve reward. Now that's a tweet last week from Damesh over at Sky Sports, and we haven't really spoken about it, but I wanted to, because I think it's completely different to the reason we haven't spoken about it, which is the Declan Rice contract situation. That blew up and it's completely overshadowed everything. You know, the West Ham players went back to training on Friday. While it's not really a topic to speak about, it feels like it's a non-event, if you want. You know, the kits haven't been released, we haven't signed anyone. Everything's sort of taken a back seat because of the Declan Rice news. The Vladimir Coufal thing, whether I believe it or not, and I'll mention that in a minute, I thought was interesting. And my stance is that it's completely different to the Declan Rice situation. While I want Rice to sign a new deal, Soufal, I'm not too keen on signing a new deal actually, and I'll tell you why in just a minute. Before I do, I've got a couple of favours to ask from you. First of all, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and just click subscribe underneath. It's completely free and you won't miss a video. Lucky you. So get subscribed to the channel, it helps us out, which is fantastic. And you can also continue helping us out with favour number 2, which is to download the OneFootball app. The link is in the description and the pinned comments, and it's completely free. It's combining social media and football. You'd get it downloaded, you don't have to sign up or anything. You can click on the app and then you can favourite the things you want to, whether it's competitions such as the Premier League, Euro 2020, the Championship. You do your countries as well, whether it's England, Scotland, like oneself, or as well as your football clubs. West Ham, we've got a lot of Everton and Aston Villa people that watch us as well. Get it downloaded and favourite it. Then you click on the thing you want to follow that day, whether it's the Premier League, you click on news, your fixtures, your table, go to your club, look at all the news consolidated for you for that day. It really is a fantastic football app. Like, we worked with them a couple of years ago. Myself and Gonzo obviously downloaded it then. And we use it in every single build-up show. That's where we get our team news for on match day. We get a notification come up exactly 1 hour before kick-off when the club's announced it as well. OneFootball announced it at the exact same time. And we get the West Ham team as well as the opposition team as well. And if you're not too clued up in the opposition, it gives you a little layout with information, what player's going to be playing in what position too. So get it, download it, and continue helping the channel. So a massive thank you to OneFootball for working with us. And a massive thank you to you guys who are downloading it. But anyway, as for this, Vladimir Coufal, apparently isn't too happy. He hasn't said he's rejected the contract, he's just not happy with the terms that's been on table. And I'm not too bothered, because he's 29, well he's 28, but he's 29 when the season kicks off, 22nd of August. Had a little look, his birthday's on 22nd of August, so he turns 29. And I feel it's dangerous. The club's got plenty of security there, a further 2 years on his contract with an option for another 2 on top of that. So 4-year contract, that would take him up to just before he turns 32 years old at West Ham. I think that's a comfortable length. I think that's a good length, so when he gets to 32, if we need to renegotiate, we can on a year-by-year basis. Maybe a 2-year deal followed by 1 year. But you get what I'm trying to say. It becomes a short-term deal. We've done the long-term bit. We're in the long-term bit. And I just think it's unnecessary to add additional years to that for a start. But also, my biggest worry is negotiating now. Do you reward someone for other performances? To some extent you do. I think you do. But I always believe, I'm aware, maybe I'm a bit old school and black and white with this, but I was saying the contract Soufal signed, what was he signing? He was signing that to become West Ham's right back, to become a Premier League player, and that is what he is. That is the contract he signed. And to give him a new one off the back of that season, I think it's dangerous. I'd imagine he's just played the best ever season he will in his footballing career. And before some smart arse says it, no, I did not see him play before West Ham, but I just can't imagine him playing that well given the competition he's up against, because the strength of the Premier League is far stronger than the league he come from over in Czech Republic. So he's come up against top players this season. Jack Grealish for a start, Raheem Sterling, and he's not looked out of place. He's continued that form of the Euros as well. I think he's looked really good. One of the best right backs at the competition. We'll all have our opinions as to which one we think was the best, but I think he's in the top 5 right backs for the Euro Championships as well. But to negotiate with him now, his wage demands will surely be higher than ever, and he's just not going to maintain the form we've just seen. It's near on impossible for him to play another. How many Premier League games did he play? 35 maybe? I remember one game he didn't play well. The other 34 he was at worst decent. Sometimes man of match contender, sometimes the man of match, and I think he will win Ham of the Year. He's not my individual choice, but I do think he will win the award whenever the voting closes and it's handed to him. I think Soufal will be Ham of the Year. and he deserves it. No one can take that away from him. But to then give him a contract that reflects the season he's just had, that reflects the summer he's just had with Czech Republic, the fact that he is Ham of the Year, I think it's dangerous. I think the wage demands that he could command today will be the highest there ever are, and to reward him with that, I think financially it's a bit of a silly move. And the club have made this mistake a few times in the past as well, with the likes of Marko Navic, even before he left. Even if Marko Navic remained at West Ham, to give him the new contract they did, which took him till I think he was 35 years old at West Ham, on 120 grand a week, that's dangerous. That is a lot of money. It's a big financial commitment, and you will be paying that guy as his career deteriorates almost. He'll be a lesser player at the end of his contract. It'll be the same with Soufal. When Soufal's current deal expires, he won't be as good as he is today. So to give him a new deal, knowing that the only way from here with his performances is downhill, I think it's dangerous. And I wouldn't be rushing to do it. Does he deserve a new deal? Probably. Listen, he had a fantastic season, but I would hold off for now. And I just don't think it's as big news as Declan Rice, because Declan Rice is different. You're trying to secure the future of Declan Rice. You're rewarding him for the increase in stature. He's gone from, when he signed his previous deal, he was sort of in the first team and only just in the first team, but now he's captain most weeks. He's not the club captain, but he's captain week in, week out. But even at the end of the current contract with Declan Rice, we're going to have an even better Declan, and it's not quite the same with Vladimir Coufal. But anyway, I'm going to part the Soufal chat, but for what it's worth, I don't believe the rumour really, because of the lack of story reporting, if you like, kind of thing. I don't think the club will be in a rush to give Soufal a new deal, understandably, because what happens if Soufal doesn't get a new contract? Is he going to leave? Well, then you have to discuss transfer market value. What's he worth? 15, 20 million? This might not be too popular, but if a 20 million bid come in for him, I think I'd sell him, because I think you could go in and get someone maybe not better than him, but certainly younger, that could go on to become better than him. But anyway, let's park that chat. That was my opinion. It just stuck with me, that news, because I just thought it's completely different to the Rice thing. I saw a lot of people getting a bit angry about it, saying this club blah blah blah, and I could understand it with the Rice thing, but the Soufal thing, I just can't buy into it as much. Now, Felipe Anderson is on the verge of joining Lazio, if reports are to believe. Charlie done a video on it the other day. It's coming out again tonight that the personal terms are agreed. There's lots of contradictions as to the fee. Now, regardless of, some are saying it's free, and some are saying it's 5 million, or anything in between as well. Some are saying 2 million. The most consistent rumour tonight, as I record this, is for about 3 million euros. And West Ham are putting in a clause that should he get sold in future, we will receive 50% of that. But then there's the invisible fee, isn't there? Because we probably still owe Lazio 5, 6, 7 million on the original deal as well. So assuming that's getting scratched off, it becomes 10 million plus 50%. And I think that's a fair price, because he's on big wages. If Felipe Anderson was on 50, 60,000 pound a week, which is average for Premier League players, for Premier League squad player wage, I think there would be a case for keeping him at the club. But given that he's on over 100,000 a week, it's a lot of wages to get off the books as well, isn't it? And I think for that reason, I can understand why the club are cutting their losses, and we chalk it up as another mistake in the transfer market under the name Sebastian Haller. Our two most expensive players in history are going out the door for less than half of what we paid for them. It's not good business at all, but it's money for a player we didn't have, and this is what's important in my opinion. It's a bit like Dean Ganna last summer. I knew Moyes was going to sell Dean Ganna. I didn't want Dean Ganna to go, but Moyes never had him. Moyes never had Dean Ganna at West Ham. He was on loan at West Brom. Moyes worked with the squad he had, kept us in the Premier League, and Dean Ganna was someone that was just not part of it. So when a bid of 18 million come in, I can 100% understand why Moyes thought, well, I'll have that, because it's 18 million for a guy I didn't even have. And it's the same again. We've done really well last season. Moyes has worked really well with his squad, and Felipe Anderson wasn't part of that. So when Moyes gets offered 10 million or something worth 10 million for a player that wasn't part of the club over the successful reign that he's had, why would he keep him? I struggle to see a way back for Felipe Anderson at West Ham, and it's a shame really, because the guy's a talented footballer. His first season here under Pellegrini, I thought he was brilliant. I was really looking forward to seeing him progress at the club. I still remember his first goal against Man United with that flick. It was one of the best goals I've seen live. Wonderful footballer at times, but the lack of confidence he shows, the lack of commitment in some games, and I never really took to Felipe. I was never his biggest fan, and I can't remember who it was. I remember doing One Cup of Tea in his first season here, and someone said, why do some fans not take to Felipe? And I remember saying to Collins, well, I'll answer that, because I don't know if it's directed at me personally, but my opinion obviously reflected that. And it was just that I never really felt he was almost not a grafter, that makes sense. And sometimes that's okay when you can't ask all your flair players to give 100% and stuff, because some players just won't do that, and you're almost sort of taking away what they do offer to the team. But I just never took to Felipe, and it'll be sad to see him go to some extent, because like I said, on these days a good player, but on these days very rare. It's very, very rare. And I always had the theory that he always played well when we were winning. We were never winning because Felipe Anderson played well. I can't remember too many games where Felipe Anderson turned up and turned the draw into the win or whatever. It was almost like we would go 1-0 up, and then Felipe Anderson would start to shine. We'd go 2-1 up, then we saw Felipe Anderson playing football, then we saw him. And there could be something in that in regards to, the space would open up, we'd be playing counter-attacking football, and the game would just suit him a bit more. But I almost felt like it was a confidence thing, and he's a bit rare. When I watch a player, sometimes a player goes through these purple patches. I never really got that with Felipe. I always thought his confidence would increase as the game went on. So after half an hour his confidence would look X, but after an hour, 70 minutes, he was flying. He was looking really good. The game would finish. Felipe Anderson, one of the best players on the pitch. Next week the whistle goes, the game starts, and we're back to the start. It was almost like he could never really get himself going. The momentum stopped at the full-time whistle. It used to frustrate the life out of me. But while I say I'm sad to see him go, that's a lie. I won't miss Felipe Anderson. Any money we can get into the club to get reinvested into players, good, we need it. But we do need to replace Felipe Anderson. While he wasn't part of the squad last season, we need more players for next season with the Europa League. So Felipe Anderson, it doesn't look like he'll be part of it, as he looks set to join Lazio. Vladimir Coufal with his contract, we'll wait and see what happens there. Anyway, I'm going to disappear. If you enjoyed this video, drop a like, comment, leave your opinions below with the Soufal contract thing. I'll call it a thing, because it's not a situation. Declan Rice contract, that's a situation. Soufal, it's a rumour. And then of course the Felipe Anderson thing as well. Drop a like on the video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you're new around here, and I'll catch you tomorrow night with Gonzo after the England game. See you soon.